A word to the wise. If you're planning on going to Tulum, Mexico, there are a number of things that you need to be aware of. And I'm here to enlighten you because these things are very important to me. Travel is very important to me. And I think it's very crucial that if you're going to travel somewhere that's hyped up, you need to know what to expect. You need to know who you're going to encounter. You need to know what the challenges are going to be. You need to know what the pitfalls are going to be. You need to know what the risks are. You need to know how to have success or have the highest likelihood of having success on vacation, be it in the social department, in the dating department, in the ego department, in the fulfillment department, in terms of personal fulfillment, interacting with locals or not. How to tip, where not to tip, how to save money, and so on. These are things that are very important to me. This is going to be a bonus episode here, a little bit of a change of pace. Because I was just recently in Tulum, and the fun thing about Tulum is it's still being built. I was there with family. My father had a great line. He said, it'll be fun to visit here in 10 years when it's built. It's an interesting place because you will go through jungle slums. There aren't any resorts on the beach. The beach is beautiful, but it's very boho still. It's still completely bohemian in a lot of ways. You'll have local people with dogs that live there, that work remotely, and so on. Selling bracelets on the beach, whatever. So there aren't any resorts on the beach. The only thing they have on the resort front is in the jungle. You have a couple of structures that are being built or that have recently been built. Like, you know, we were at one, which was fine, but it's a compound. It wasn't a resort, it's a compound. The selling point is that you have to go to a beach. You get to take a bus to a beach, a private bus shuttle a couple times a day, 4 or 5 times a day. So not ideal. Not ideal right there, but you're paying for the beach. You're paying for Tulum Beach, and you get to sleep on a compound that they call the resort, but the facility itself is very limited. There's no tennis court. That's a problem. Whether they're building one or not, I don't know. Doesn't really matter. The point is, the place didn't have one yet. It's very bare bones. Because to build a resort in Tulum, you've got to build one in the jungle if you're not going to have one on the best prime real estate, which is on the Strip. But much of the Strip, in Tulum in particular, is jungle slums. It's basically this weird thing where you'll see muddy jungle that the Mexican military has like a base camp out of. It literally looks like MASH. It looks like it's set from, it looks like it's out of the set of the Korean War in the 1950s. Then 300 meters later, you'll drive by a sunglass hut and a Greek restaurant. So it's highly peculiar. So a place like this requires a high level of, adeptness. I don't know. You have to be very adept at how you navigate. It requires a high level of skill. There's the word. In order to navigate. Tulum is basically Latin American Mexico. It's basically, it's redundant. It's Latin American Mykonos. Tulum is basically Latin American Mykonos. It's Latin American Miami. Miami is Latin American Mykonos in another kind of weird way in that it blends American and Latin American cultures. But Tulum is that to an added degree because you feel the poverty there. I mean, it's stark. The change you'll feel between Tulum and other places that are happening, that you will have FOMO to go visit, that everyone you know will be looking to visit, that makes, I don't know, 70 grand and up. Whatever, U.S., Canadian, kind of, whatever. I know that's actually a big difference, but you know what I'm saying. If you make money and you're employed full-time and you're financially responsible, or not, you'll see a lot of people that will probably that'll overspend and go to these places. But in general, if you're a person who's got their life together, you're looking to go to a couple of places. There's a list of like maybe 12, okay? There's the big ones that no one gets to go to. No one gets to go to the Maldives, basically. No one gets to go to St. Bart's. Some people do. I'm saying no one, but it's almost like a cut above. The Virgin Islands, I mean, that's like Epstein shit. You know what I'm saying? The Maldives are like for, Memphis Depay, pro footballers, It's a whole different caliber of person. But you can go to Bali, okay, and kind of go boho. All of the Greek Cycladic islands, you can kind of go on a budget and fake it. Likewise, Spain and the Mediterranean. Portocervo, Sardinia, kind of tough because it is very expensive, but a lot of people will sell their lives to go there. Saint-Tropez, French Riviera, same sort of energy. We'll add Miami into that because you have a lot of criminals that'll go there. It's a lot of crypto money now. People that aren't really, not really contributing a whole lot to society, but they're able to kind of irk out some kind of living for themselves, be it through OnlyFans or some kind of douchebag thing like drop shipping or whatever the fuck. Something that's fake, that's not really contributing to, the betterment of society. Something that, takes advantage of a system of sorts on the internet. That's Miami. Then you got Tulum. You have Cabo also, but that's really for just LA people to go, it's not even that. I don't even know how much hotter it is than LA, but that's just for people on the West Coast to go down and feel something. I don't know. They feel like they're traveling. Tulum's a little different. That it's hot. It's relatively new still. Their airport is brand new. It was built by the military. When we landed at Tulum Airport, I was stunned. We went through baggage claim. And, dude, we're entering Mexico. And there are customs people that are like pulling us aside saying, "Oh, we got to check your bags." I go, "What? You got to check my bag?" Like, "Yeah, for contraband." Like, you're worried about drugs coming into Mexico. It's a fucking party town. You can't demonize people from Germany that are coming. They're gonna bring ketamine. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I think a reason for that might be because they want, the cartels probably sell drugs there. Or have, foot soldiers sell drugs there, and it's good for the local economy. If, people have to, buy drugs from the local black market. You can't be bringing drugs in from your black market, which all comes from, ironically, if you bought drugs in Chicago, you got it in, or even in Europe, there's a chance it came from South America anyway, or Latin America anyway. But no, you got to wash those down the toilet or shove them up your ass, whatever. They didn't check. I mean, they have dogs, but I wasn't smuggling drugs in. I don't know why I'm going into all these details, but I'm just telling you what happened. It was very puzzling. You're landing in Tulum, and it's a very nice new airport because it was just built by the military. They took out several acres, even kilometers of jungle to build it. I mean, there's jungle for miles. You could see it when the plane's touching down. So it's it's an old Mayan, probably fucking holy ground. We just built a tarmac on it. But because it's relatively new and because, the Mexican military runs it, they're anal. And, dude, I brought my pod gear. Ironically, by the way, this pod was supposed to come out like weeks ago in Tulum. The place was such a fucking circus. I wanted to do it, but to be honest, like, I was there with my girlfriend, and it's like in the morning. Wait, we gotta go. There's a shuttle coming. Get your ass up, get the fuck up, and let's go. And I just spent the whole day at the beach club, just waiting to take a shit. Kind of just waiting until the last shuttle, and then we would go back in the evening, and then we'd have a couple hours before dinner, and that would have been the window to do it. And whatever. I'd like to sit down and think and not rush it, and we just whatever. We never happened. But I brought my pod gear down to Tulum. Side note, by the way, when we were at the beach club, I'd have a coffee in my room. I just ordered a fuck ton of coffee on the first day. Like, straight up, we got to our room and I was like, all right, this isn't going to cut it. We got like 4 capsules. So I placed a fucking, like a clusterfuck of an order to room service. And they're freaking out. They're like calling me like, fuck, you really need all this? I'm like, yes, I didn't stutter. 25 water bottles. 25, coffee capsules. A disgusting amount of tea bags, and I'm naked. Like, I don't want to come to the door. And this isn't very nice, but it's just the truth. I tip well when I go to these resorts. I do, but fuck, man. Like, there's a window. The resort we were at had these little delivery windows where, I mean, you could really just, it was like Black Mirror. You could literally just go, do not disturb with the press of a button and put a special request on your remote order to room service that you wanted all of the articles that you summoned up to your room to be delivered into a delivery window where basically you're in the room, right? You open a slot and there's a little a little holding area where some dude from the outside has a key and he can place your water in, and then you can kind of, without interacting with him, you can kind of just open it up and take it out once he's left. You know, you can like scurry over, pick it up, and run away. And this doesn't work for them. They hate it because, you know, these people need tips. And even, I gotta say, they're fucking fishing for a man, which I get. It's important for their livelihood. I understand that. But like, if I got the no molestar sign on, you know, like, maybe I'm taking a shit, and if you knock on the door, it's going to break my concentration. Like, please, I'm sorry. I fucking do not disturb things on. Don't knock and say, room service. Like, please, I need money. Like, leave it in the window, you know? I ain't in. Fuck, you know? Sometimes I would order something during the day, like, so I could have it there when I returned. I'm not there to tip them. Like, it is what it is. But anyway, I hope I don't come across as crass or fucking or like an asshole here. But I think it's a pretty relatable feeling. Just, you know, to not want to deal with, to not want to look the third world in the eye. Like, it's sad enough as is. You can't avoid it everywhere. I give him money where I can, but it's like, fuck. Every interaction, I got to give him like 3 scoot, whatever. So, mostly because I on principle, I'm not going to tip $20. And like, I only had 20s and 50s with me. I had like several 20s and 50s. So I had to be very selective. I was like tipping people 20s, but for like a couple days of work, you know? Like, at one point, actually, like at the beach club. So I would have coffee in the morning, and then by the time we get to the beach club, I'd have pounded water. I want to be dehydrated and pissing, basically, at the beach. This is actually a tip for you when you go to one of these spots where you want to look like hot shit. I was there with my girlfriend, so this was not really a factor. But if you're single and you want to look like hot shit, and there's a lot of ladies there that kind of think they're hot shit, that are looking for a guy that's hot shit, you have to follow a couple of rules. First of all, if you're skinny, I mean this with all due respect, and I know most of you aren't, and that's, you know, it is what it is. And you can't lie. Like, I see you. I'm on the beach. By the way, my girlfriend hates when I say this shit, but it's like, fuck it, you're with me. I have abs. What do you... She hates when I talk about having abs. She's like, you're so cocky. It's not endearing. I'm like, well, she doesn't actually use that. She doesn't actually use that word. But I feel like she might think it's not endearing. But it's like, motherfucker, like, I look good for myself and for you. This is a package deal, you know? Like, we don't have to... You don't have to get mad that I think I look good. But she hates when I say, yeah, fucking look at everyone on the beach. Everyone's fat. So, you know, I think a lot of you guys are. That's fine. You'll just die sooner, whatever. But don't be. Like, it's easy to not be. Just fast every day for like 18 hours, 16 hours minimum. Go for 18. Drink 3 liters of water a day. Count your calories. That's it. Go in a deficit until you see abs, and then just maintain. So you can, in my opinion, there are 2 physiques you can kind of have, right? If you want to look like, if you're serious about, you know, attracting. Because fuck it, right? Like, I get that there's more to it than physical shit, but you want women to look at you on the beach, right? Before you could talk to them and make them laugh and do all that shit and say what you do for a living and what inspires you and what your fucking opinion is on, you know, on Trump. Who gives a shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, but in places like this, people aren't talking about politics right away. You know what I'm saying? You're in Ibiza, people aren't talking about Palestine. Everyone in Ibiza, everyone in Mykonos kind of likes Israel. They all kind of would like to go there. They all kind of would like to go to Tel Aviv. And they don't even like Israel for political reasons. They're just like, yeah. Or they like, you know, they're kind of free Palestine people for the same reason. They're kind of like, yeah, it's bad, evil. Like, there's no real, like, level of, you know, in-depth thought. They just kind of, you know, cling to an idea, and they go, yeah, of course, Israel, yeah, freedom, yeah, look, music festivals, Israel, yeah, I would love that. No, Palestine, of course. Look at them, dying babies, bad. Bleh. There's no looking at nuance or complexity, and you attract people at these resorts by looking good. You have 2 options. You could be skinny, and then you have to wear a trunk that you could ride a little lower so you see the cum gutters. You wear a trunk that hits you mid-thigh all the time. If you're a thicker guy, you should still be fit, but you wear it a little higher, kind of like a boxer, just below the belly button. So you fill it out, but you got like Joe Rogan kind of fat abs, like thick boy abs. Those are the options. You need to make sure that you kind of ride it up a little bit on the thighs so you can see a bit of a bulge or as much of a bulge as possible. When you're sitting down on a chair, never go legs up. because optically it just looks like you don't have a big dick. Sometimes it shrinks, I get it, but just legs down on the ground. Make it look like you're sprawled, like your dick is hanging. And if you can go for a run on the beach, do it. People see the guy running. You're sweating, you get wet. It's good. It's a good look. Where the fuck was I? Oh yeah, and also dehydrate yourself completely over the course of the day. Don't eat anything. Go 1 meal a day at night. And don't drink. Don't drink on the beach. It sucks. Drink at night if you have to. But drinking during the day in the sun, 30 degrees, I mean, you're fucked. So what I would do is I would have coffee in the morning to shit, and I would have a ton of water. So I would just, I'd have to explode by the time I got to the beach club. And it was like 11 o'clock every morning. I would always go to take a shit, and there was always the same guy cleaning the bathroom every day. It was like, hey, same time tomorrow, bud. Like, it was actually getting uncomfortable to where like the guy clearly knew my shitting routine. But yeah, that's kind of how you have to tip. Like you will recognize people, and that's who you tip if you have like bigger bills. And it also makes them feel better. People freak out. If you give people $3 a day over the course of like 6 days, don't do that. Just give them $20 on day 2. And then give him like 10 on the last day. You give him more money, not much more, but you spread it out. He's happier. Okay, airport. So, dude, we're at the fucking airport at customs, and I got my pod gear, which I did not use while in Tulum, which is why I'm doing the post-dated review here and now. A couple weeks after the fact, but I didn't know that I was, that I wasn't going to get to record. I thought I would. So dude, I have like all this pod gear in a bag, and the customs guy starts going through it, and he's like looking at the microphones. He's like, "Oh, what's this?" I go, "Son micrófonos." They're microphones. And some baggage claim guy, who I guess was like kind of included in the flight service that we got, he was tasked with helping us to our accommodation or to our fucking transportation. This guy that meets us at baggage claim that works for the company, works for the airline that we flew with, comes over into the customs area and starts talking to his fucking paisan, who's like asking me questions about my pod gear. And this kid who works for the airline goes, "Wait, sure, micrófono, sure, that's the brand, sure, mics." He goes, "Mucho dinero," like very expensive, and I'm like, "Well, yes. Matter of fact, they are. Yes, I'm a very serious person. Yeah, I'm famous actually." I'm just like, I don't know what I thought. Like I just felt cool for a second. I was like, "Oh, he thinks I'm famous." Yes, I have very much money. Yes, I have these microphones. I'm a very serious podcaster. And the fucking dude, the customs guy starts freaking out. He's like, "Bro, you know you can only bring $500 of equipment or machine or fucking technology into the country." I go, "What?" He goes, "Yeah, $500 US. How much are these?" I go, "I don't fucking." Now I'm lying. I go, "I don't know." And he's trying to Google it. He can't get service. I have a laptop in my bag. I'm like, "Bro, that's worth more than $500. What the fuck are we doing here?" So this guy clearly knows that I have more than the value of what I'm supposed to bring in, which is a crazy rule. And I'm just standing there like, "What are we gonna do?" He's not saying anything, and I'm like, "All right, Kumba, are we done here? Like, I'm gonna go." And he's like, "All right, whatever." Like, what's he gonna do, man? Stick to drugs. Stick to drugs, dude. The cartels don't give a fuck the cartels don't need my fucking pod mics. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I don't know. That was a weird moment though. Like, shit like that. Some of these weird kind of second world countries, you have these strange rules. You feel the poverty in these places, man. I'm telling you. Like, I've never been to Dubai. Dubai's another place. It's another one of those it places that airheads that want to go on Love Island will want to go visit. If you want an airhead from the UK who wants to go on Love Island, go to Dubai. You'll find one immediately. And by the way, you could identify it just by looking at a woman's pedicure. You could tell if you're in Miami, Tulum, Mykonos, Dubai, whatever. If you look at a woman's pedicure, you could tell exactly what kind of woman she is. These are the options. Baby pink or white, she's looking for a husband if she's not there with a boyfriend already. Some kind of like brown, that's going to be a girl with like a bandana, kind of like a Burning Man type, skinny, flowy pants, but manicured, fake lips, too much, skinny sunglasses, Prada, maybe a little Miu Miu, but probably not. Just like a small kind of plasticky black Prada sunglass with a bandana. That's the brown pedicure. She wants a footballer specifically, or someone like that. She would settle for a guy that has a real estate company that maybe is on Bravo. I mean, really, they'll settle for whatever they can get. But if they can get someone that's on television in some capacity that has, newspaper articles written about him, then bonus. That's who they're hoping to meet in general. Generally, what they'll do is they'll settle for a skinny fat guy with tattoos. That's it. Just a skinny fat guy with tattoos who fucking whatever, who buys designer clothes but isn't necessarily like all that special of a guy. Where he gets it, how he gets it, I don't fucking know. It's just who she often winds up with because that's who she has to settle with. Nude or clear. That's usually like a real model, kind of like a new age. Just like a new age kind of clean cut model. Not really for everyone, but that's a look out there. And then you have the fun colors. Well, you have red. That's usually an older lady. Red is just an older lady usually. Married, divorced, doesn't matter. Single. Fucking whatever. Red, generally older. You will have there's a little bit of crossover between red and white with women that are, married or have committed partners or boyfriends or whatever. Wifey, good, wholesome women, want to be homemakers type of thing. The nude and the brown pedicure women will be a little more likely to want to be some kind of boss bitch. Some kind of boss bitch, whether it's real or not, whether it's fake, whether it's, through some kind of image they put out on an Instagram profile. They're generally trying to go for a little more. They don't just want the basics. They don't just want a country house. Oftentimes they want it all. And it's kind of overkill. Then you have the fun colors. The fun colors like lime green. That's just American. That's just any American, black, white. That's just Asian, American. Americans all the way. Lime green, some kind of crazy pink maybe. A purple, that's all American. Exclusively. Orange, American. That's it. That is all. What were we? Oh, right, okay. But yeah, you really do feel the poverty in these countries, man. If you go to Mexico, you're going to feel the poverty anywhere you go. It's not like Dubai, for example. In Dubai, if I say I want a dragon fruit right now, it's coming. If I order some shit on a room service menu in Mexico, it's a crapshoot. Truffle steak, whatever the fuck. Oh, that's out of season. They'll tell you that. Like you'll actually, what the fuck is it in these bathrooms in these foreign countries? I see this in Mexico. You see this in Europe a lot, in Greece. You go to a bathroom stall, and there's like a sign that says, please don't flush the paper towel down the, whatever the fuck. Don't flush toilet paper down the toilet. Throw it in the trash can. There's a trash can next to the toilet. And they go, please, you'll kill our kids. You'll kill our water supply. This is an old Mayan ancient sacred site. Please don't flush toilet paper. You got to do it anyway. It's like, hey man, this is your fucking problem. You should have thought about this before you imported the world here. That's no way to fucking host. What kind of hospitality is that? In Dubai, throw your kids in the toilet if you want. We'll find a way to mash it up. It doesn't matter. Throw bones in the toilet. Eat spare ribs, throw the bones in the toilet. They'll find a way to figure it out. Yeah, I don't know. There's a thing in Mexico, man, you might get a towel that's a little rough, and then you'll call down and say, hey, can I have new towels? The towels are rough. And they'll say, okay, no problem. We could send you a clean towel. We have to kill a small child in order to send you a towel that's soft. Would you like to do that? It's your choice. We give you, the option. We give you the choice. We give you rough towels, or we give you just a humble amount of soap. We can give you more soap if you want. We understand you're calling down saying that you need more soap. We can bring it to you. Just understand if you do, we have to send a small child into the jungle, and when she comes back, we have to kill her. It's just customary. It's just a sacrifice to the Mayans because it requires so much, so many resources to create this soap for you, white man. it's a lot. So we have to appease the gods. And we could do it for you, but we got to kill a kid. That's the bottom line. Would you like to do it? And you got to be like, fuck, I mean, I'm here for a week. I mean, yeah, fuck it. Yeah, just kill one kid. Sure, all right. I'll leave a $3 tip for your troubles. Like you feel the poverty a little bit more. They're trying, but you feel it a little more. Like, you can't drink the water. Yeah, all right. Well, give me bottled water. Fine, fuck it. Good luck. Where's it going? Who the hell knows? Where are these fucking plastic bottles going? I doubt you guys are better equipped to deal with it than we are in, the first world. We're here in the second world, right? I don't think they're as well equipped to deal with it as we are, but fuck it. All right, fine. And it's not wrong to call Mexico the second world, by the way. Like, there are things I saw just going from my resort to my resort's beach club that if any of what I saw, right? Like, the given piece of property that I saw, if that was anywhere in the United States, it would be on the fucking news, okay? Like, if that was in Ohio, it would be a problem. It would be like on TikTok. People would be like haunted house YouTube videos, all right? Abandoned homes that people will go explore. They have, better bones to them than some of the fucking shacks you'll see, in Tulum, which is like one of the nicest, most important kind of touristy areas in the country. But anyway, so yeah, like, it's the thing also is you'll see people walking around selling bracelets on the beach, and they will not probably be wearing sunscreen or SPF. And you'll see that and be like, fuck, if I don't wear SPF, I'll burn and get maybe like spots and skin cancer. How the fuck are these people not dying of skin cancer at a crazy rate in this country? I mean, it's so sunny and they're out all the time. And the answer is simple, you see. They're not dying of skin cancer because diabetes is getting them first because they can't drink the fucking water, so they drink Coca-Cola. Like, the health establishment in Mexico has really failed them. I noticed. There was a moment, it's fucked up, dude. There was a moment where like a 6-year-old kid, and I know she was 6, not because I looked at her and said, 6-year-old right there. I'm not a fucking freak, but I asked her. There was a 6-year-old girl on the beach who was selling bracelets, and she came up to my girlfriend and I. She was going around to all the people sitting down on the chairs on the beach, and I started talking to her, in Spanish, and I bought one from her, because I'm a good person, and despite all the jokes I've made on this pod so far, I felt bad. So I'm asking her, how old are you? She goes, 6. And I go, and you're working? She goes, yeah, I like working. It gives me something to do. I was like, all right, that's very, God, that's, all right. That's tragic. So I asked her, you hungry? And she goes, I could eat. And I go, okay. It's an all-inclusive. I'll go get some food, and I'll bring it back to you. And I ask her, what do you want to eat? And she's like, can I have 2 burgers and fries and a Coke? And I'm like, mate, like, I feel like as an adult, I shouldn't allow you to have that. The fact that that's where your brain goes, you'd think that like the Mexican kid would say, I don't know, can I have an empanada? Can I have a little taquito? Maybe something, maybe a little, some tongue. I don't know, like a tongue taco. With like salsa verde, something a little cleaner. She said, no, burger, fries, and Coke. So I go, all right, squirt. I'll get it for you. I'll be right back. I actually liked the kid because what I did was I asked how much it was for a bracelet. She told me the amount in pesos, and I didn't have pesos. I said, I only have US dollars. Can you accept US dollars? She kind of was confused. She's a kid, so she kind of walked on. And I go, okay. Like, she basically, the amount she gave me was like the equivalent to 10 US dollars. So I walked up to her. I caught up to her after. And, I said, hey, listen, here's a 20, all right? This is the equivalent of what it would cost for 2 bracelets, okay? It converts to however many fucking, like 400 or 800 pesos, whatever it is. So can I have, and she smiles, and she gives me a bracelet, and I go, okay. And I go, and then now I'm like, all right, she swindled me. She got $10 more out of me, and I go, I actually wanted to buy 2 bracelets with the 20. Like, I was like, I'll get one for myself and one for my girlfriend. I'll get one for Paula. We'll match. And I asked her, can I have a second one? I gave you the equivalent of 800 pesos. You said that one is 400. She goes, if if you give me 400 pesos more, you could have another one. I was like, what are you, fucking Napolitan? Like, what are you, a gypsy? But I liked it. I respected it. I liked the fact she kind of scammed me. And I went, all right. So I scratched her head and I go, all right, what are you hungry? I'll get you a little food. Like, I like that she scammed me, you know? So she goes, yeah, burger, fries, and a Coke. So I go over to the fucking restaurant to order a burger and a fries and Coke. And I guess like a manager from the hotel saw me talking to this kid and comes over to me in the restaurant and says, you're not just making sure the food's for you, right? I go, excuse me? He goes, yeah, I mean, we don't want, you feeding the kids on the street. I go, what? And I'm like, I'm kind of mind fucked. And I'm like, that feels backwards and against every human instinct that you should have. But all right, like, I'm not dealing with this. So I just look him in the eyes and I go, yeah, it's for me. I lied to him, right? And I'm thinking he'll know I'm lying, right? And he knows I'm lying. And I know he knows I know I'm lying. But I said it officially so he can't, he could turn a blind eye. I'm kind of like, Kumba, buddy. Yeah, it's for me. Are we good here? And he's like, all right, shut the bon. Leaves me alone. Fucking order the food. It comes. And I don't know what I would have had to do to like get out of that place with food. Maybe I would have had to slip fucking, the waiter a 20 or whatever. But like, I don't want to give him 20 because I think 10 is enough for his troubles. If I give him 10, he'll let me out of there. And I already spent 20 on the kid, and I only got one bracelet. Now I'm like doing math in my head. Like, what's this kid worth? And now I'm, whatever. So I asked the waiter, do you have change? He says no, because he's thinking, well, if I say no, this guy will just give me whatever big bill he has. And instead I was like, all right, motherfucker, you get nothing. Fuck it. Like, you just brought me the food. It was real quick. Like, shut the bun. I'm out, Because he was like being weird. I think he kind of sensed that I was like maybe going to flee with the food. And as I'm on the way out, he goes, Senor, and he puts his hand on my shoulder. He's like, you can't leave here, man. You can't feed the kids. And I'm like, bro, what the fuck you doing here? And I asked him, are you Catholic? Because it's Mexico. He says, no. And I go, fuck, I forgot we're in Yucatan. You guys are it's fucking apocalypto out here. You guys are fucking Mayan. Like, you guys are pagan. You guys cut people's heads off. You guys don't fucking believe in charity. So I go, okay, I get it. You got a job. But like, no one's going to say shit if I leave. I saw someone else feed a kid covertly. And, so I'm like, I'm caught, right? And then the fucking head honcho manager comes down from out of the woodwork and goes, yeah, this guy looks like a fucking narco. He's got like sunglasses on. He's got like an open shirt. All the managers at these places are like tall and kind of like Hispanic. They're kind of like European looking. They're kind of like Spanish looking, as opposed to like, the short like Mestizo guys or the short like whatever Mayan indigenous guys. So the guy comes over to me and he's like telling me, you can't, come on, if you do that, we're going to cause a problem. Like they'll come back every day. Like they're birds. He's like they're birds. They'll swarm. And I'm thinking, well, bro, that's not my fucking problem. I'm here a week. What happens here in 2 weeks? I don't give a shit if it becomes a soup kitchen after I'm gone. I don't give a fuck, I'm feeding a kid now. I promised this kid food. And he's like, no, they'll come back tomorrow if you feed them. And I'm like, yeah, good, because they're hungry. They're hungry. They're like, it's not our responsibility. I go, what? The locals? Like, it's not the adults. It's not your responsibility to feed the kids. Turn a blind eye. Like, for fun. What do you? I don't know. Fuck, man. Like, and at one point I go, all right, I'm not gonna walk over there and have you chase me and steal the food out of my hand and initiate a physical confrontation. All right, fine. So throw it in the garbage. I leave it there. And he goes, how do you speak Spanish so well? I go, my family's Italian. He's like engaging me. And I'm like, all right, bro, I'm out. I'm going to go give the kid a little cash instead. I was so disinterested in talking to this fucking guy. I was disgusted. I get that it's his job, but like, it doesn't feel good, right? It's not a fun interaction. And I get it, because for him, he sees this kid every day. For him, he like probably knows this kid's father. He's like, oh, those fucking kids, their dads, fuck him. They've always been losers, But for me, I just see a third world kid. I see a poor kid that I want to help. But it's like when I go to Italy, when gypsy kids come up to me, I'm like, yeah, get away from me. You know what I'm saying? It's like the local kids, the kids that are kind of local to my population, I'll look away from, the kids of like homeless indigenous people. I mean, they very rarely have kids, but whatever. If I see like drunks on the street with like a dog, I'll be like, whatever. I'll feel bad for the dog, I guess, but I haven't, to be fair, I haven't really seen, many homeless people with kids. It's a very gypsy trick that they kind of pull or tactic, but I don't know. Like, I tend not to feel bad for poor people of my own country, but when I go elsewhere, I guess I do more. So maybe it's because they're children and like they're working, you know what I mean? But yeah, at one point the next day, my father and I met some fucking annoying guy from like Vancouver who had been at this hotel for weeks. And he's like a blowhard who's like talking about like how he's like in a preferred room and how he's been there so long and they're treating him great. And the place is fine. The place we're at is fine, but it's not, it's not the best place anyone's ever stayed at. But he's like, this place is top notch. It's the best. I love it here. You got everything you need. We preferred another spot that we had been by that was operated by the same company a couple years ago. Mentioned it to him. He goes, no, it's overrated. And we're like, okay, well, this guy's got no credibility left. Like, that place was way better than the one we're at currently, by and large. But then the guy's not really doing anything wrong, but we just asked him, I think like my mom asked him a question about like his fucking, he had like a pool floaty. He had like a giant flamingo that he brought with a pump, and he was sitting on it in the pool, which is highly unusual. My mom commented on it. She remarked it, and he's off to the races. He's like, yeah, Al Gore's a friend. like, yeah, I know Jagmeet Singh. He just starts like name dropping out of nowhere. Like literally, like my mom's like, oh, you got that floaty's cool. And he's like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, yeah, I've been here a little while. Yeah, they treat me real good. I'm a really, I'm a music producer, and I'm an environmentalist, and I remember meeting Al Gore. He's a friend. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he's like he's talking about Jagmeet Singh being a good guy. He was the head of the NDP, if you're not Canadian. It's a socialist party in Canada. And he's like, Biden's coming to the end of his presidency at this point, like that week. And he's like talking about, Biden, say what you want about him. He, not many people have served as long in the White House as he has, 2 terms as a VP, 1 term as a president. My dad and I kind of both go, well, trying not to be confrontational. My dad's like, oh, H.W. Bush, and I just go, yeah. At this point, I hadn't engaged them at all. I was reading a book, like 3 beds down from where they were, from where my parents were engaging with this guy. And the guy's like, yeah, Biden's very impressive. He's done like 12 years in the White House. No one else has done that, like ever. My dad's like, well, H.W. He's like, and the guy's like, was he? My dad's like, yeah, H.W., 8 years under Reagan, 4 years as president. And then out of nowhere, not even looking up, I'm just reading my book, I go, Nixon. like under Eisenhower, and then as president. So Nixon actually did more than 12 years. I think he won 2 terms. There was the impeachment, or like the resignation in term number 2, but he was there even longer. Anyway, so the guy's kind of annoying us, right? A little bit. But I'm having fun, like, kind of fucking with him. And he's like, yeah, the staff's great here. Fernando, the manager's a great guy. And I go, oh, is that the guy who works in the restaurant over there? He goes, yeah, great guy. I go, yeah, funny you should say that. Yeah, I tried feeding a poor child on the beach yesterday. Wouldn't let me. Took the food away, threw it in the garbage. But yeah, otherwise, good guy. And he's like, Fernando, tall guy, good-looking guy. I go, yeah, But yeah, no, great guy otherwise. Like, so I wanted to burst his bubble. And I go, anyway, all right, have a good day. just this guy's, this like socialist guy's realizing that his pal is a shill for this corporation. Yeah, I don't know. I know it is important to tip when you go to these resorts though, because God forbid. What are they gonna? Is Hyatt gonna pay people an adequate fucking wage? What are you fucking crazy? They don't even do that in North America. they don't even do that in the States. They're gonna do that in Mexico now all of a sudden. It's like, well, you gotta tip them, man. People gotta make a living. They don't get paid much, man, and they can't get paid much because if you understand, if one of the big corporations decides to be too benevolent and starts paying the people too much, then they won't be hungry anymore. And they won't want to work in service. They'll be like, oh, I can buy 2 papayas this week. I can buy 2 mangoes this week. I'm quit. Cut my hours. I'm quitting. I can buy 2 mangoes now. Minimum wage has gone up. Don't have to work in service anymore. For people that don't fucking... Serving Sam Adamo's father, who's like trying to speak Spanish. He's like, buonasera, compa. Posso ordinare los tacos? Just people like speaking broken Spanish. Fucking people speaking. I don't know. Whatever. People not speaking their language, annoying them. Yeah. I feel like that's pretty. It's a pretty commonplace thing for a lot of like Italian kids. You go away with your dad. When I was a kid, I would go away with my dad. I thought he was like the best Spanish speaker ever. My dad used to like do business sometimes in Cuba. I mean, he would go around. He had like to go down to Latin America a number of times for work. I remember once particularly went to Cuba, which I thought was very cool because I was in high school. I just watched The Godfather Part 2. And, it's a cool place to do business because they're very old school. They'll give you cigars. They'll give you gifts they'll give gifts to the people that they do business with because the government has a fuckload of resources. They don't give them to anyone, but they collectivized everything, so they have a ton of shit. When you do business in Cuba, you're doing business with the government, so they just give shit away. They give away rum because they have fucking boatloads of it, right? The government of Cuba is insanely rich, so they're giving gifts away, and I thought it was cool. And in my mind, I was like, wow, he's basically like a fucking diplomat. But meanwhile, like I grew up to like kind of, I guess, have a better grasp on the Spanish language. And now I go away with like him or my girlfriend or my mom, and it's like, oh my God, like you fucking wops. You guys are all just speaking Calabrese to this fucking guy in Cancun. Like my dad will be like, what did my dad say? Perdón, which is correct. Necesito dos aguas, per favore. Like he'll just throw in a little Italian, But whatever. I'm sure they don't mind too bad. I'm sure they don't mind too bad having to interact with people who can't speak their language for no money, who they might get tipped by. You gotta tip them, man. You gotta tip them. That's what's going on. Final thought. My girlfriend said something funny one of the nights that we were there. We were walking to dinner, and it felt like, I don't know, we're at a resort, right? And we're dolled up, because that's what you do when you go to a resort. You just spend a day out in the sun, go home, wash up, get ready to go out for dinner, dress up, go have dinner. It's like kind of like Love Island. And I guess my girlfriend felt that. She was like, I wish we met on Love Island. That would have been so cool. And I'm like, what? Like, am I not enough for you? We met in school 7 years ago. Is our love story not fucking good enough? And that actually upset me, dude. Because one night, that trip, she fell asleep with Love Island on. And I heard it in the background for like an hour while I was like doing my beard and fucking eyebrows and fucking taking a shit or whatever. I don't know. And the conversations these people are having are just so low brow, and I'm like, and they think they're in love with each other, and I'm like, bro, okay, so first of all, no, because if you're at a resort with someone, which is what Love Island is, right? You're on a fucking island with someone, and you're on a fucking island with a crew of people, and you're dating, and there's a pool, and men just shit a lot every day. Like, we are shitting constantly. When we're on vacation, because that's what Love Island is, when you're on vacation, your shits are like an ordeal. Shitting on vacation is an issue. Like, it's a primary source of stress. And I feel like if you're not, you gotta like talk to the woman you love about it. Like, the first couple of days, I'm checking in with her. I'm like, how you doing? I'm good. I just went. And we're like, all right, fuck yeah. We're like giving each other props. Like, that's good. That's real love right there. You're gonna tell me you've been meeting this, dude, you've been talking to this woman for fucking 2 weeks? You're gonna start talking about your shits? It's not real. There's a thing you're putting on. You're putting it on like, you don't shit. I don't shit. Well, I disappeared to the bathroom for the last 2 hours. I was jerking off, actually. like you have to. What do the guys say when they're gone, disappeared, shitting for as long as they are? Are they making those jokes off camera? Like, that's what I want to know. They always say like, oh yeah, We had great conversations off camera. There's a lot you didn't see. It's so special. It's like, what were you talking about off camera? Were you talking about your bowel movements? Were you talking about 9/11 conspiracy theories? Were you talking about Trump? Like, what's the real juice, you know? Were you sharing conspiracy theories? Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I thought that was kind of weird. How, like, these people just all say they fall in love, but they're on a vacation and they're just clearly never talking about their bowel movements. And it's like the most important thing, because the women, God, there's no fucking way they're admitting that they poop. Like, my girlfriend doesn't like talking about it because she doesn't, because she's a woman and women don't, you know, but yeah, whatever. Like, I still check it. I worry, you know, you know what I mean? Like, because if I'm fucking having a hard time, I can only imagine, right? Like, you know, it's more of an ordeal for a lady, so. Been 7 years, and it's still a fucking ordeal to, like, get her to be open and honest about it. You imagine you met someone 3 weeks ago? Like, no, the guard's not down there. And she's like, I wish we met on Love Island. Like, we literally met. I was 17 years old when I met my girlfriend. And, like, that's not enough. I don't know. Is that not better? Like, we met as practically like children? Isn't that cooler? Isn't that a better love story than meeting on television where we're like being made to be jealous and forced to go on dates with other people? Like, I don't know. All right. Leave a like on the video if you haven't, if you're still here. I'm going to ask, if you're listening to this, give it a 5-star rating on whatever audio platform you're on. Subscribe if you haven't. All right, that's it. This is probably going to be a bonus pod. Hope you enjoyed. Safe travels. Much love. Ciao.